The clock is ticking to the deadline for the end of this conference in Bali, and there still seems to be a major standoff between several of the parties involved, including the US and the European Union. I'm joined now by Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, the head of the IPCC, the chairman. Your group of scientists has noted that mankind is responsible. Do you think mankind is taking enough action here in Bali?
Certainly not, and I hope that during the next few hours some sense will prevail and that they're able to come up with a strong statement, because I think Bali is critically important. If we lose momentum over here, then we have a very short period of time before which we would have to arrive at an agreement. So I would say that there's a huge responsibility on the shoulders of the negotiators here, and I hope they realize that.
Do you think that the US is the country that is holding things up, as Al Gore suggested last night?
Well, I really wouldn't want to comment on that, but I would say there are 3 or 4 countries that apparently are not quite ready to make any commitments. And I think it's important to realize that if we want to mitigate emissions of greenhouse gases, which is absolutely critical, then I think we have to set some short-term targets.
And that involves this 25 to 40% being put in the document here in Bali?
Well, the question is whether we need to put that into the document or come up with a strong statement which at least leaves open the possibility of arriving at numbers maybe within a short period of time. In that case, we'll have to specify that these numbers will have to be settled by so-and-so date. So I think there has to be something definite by which we are able to specify what needs to be done to reduce emissions of these gases.
Many of the green lobby groups are saying anything less than having those specific numbers here will be a failure. Do you agree?
Well, I wouldn't say so, because, I think there's a lot more that's being discussed and which I think has been resolved. This seems to be the most critical issue, and I think if we can come up with something that's acceptable to everyone, but clearly paves the way for firm and strong action in the coming months, I would say that should be satisfactory. I wouldn't term that a failure at all. I think what would be a failure is not to provide a strong roadmap by which the world can move on. And I think that roadmap has to be specified with or without numbers. If we can come up with numbers, that certainly is substantial progress, and I hope that happens.
Dr. Pachauri, thank you very much for joining us here on CNN. Well, time is running out for that roadmap to be agreed. There is speculation now that the talks may have to be extended, perhaps going into Saturday. Dan Rivers, CNN, Bali.